breaking news today.
Please subscribe and check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
Judicial activism has been a torment on U.S. courts for, at any rate, decades. To be blunt, what it adds up to is the utilization of compliant judges to make laws that could never pass the lawmaking body. On the off chance that this sounds like a corruption of our judicial system, that is on the grounds that it is. Moving a bill through a governing body can be a long and troublesome assignment. At that point, there is the matter of whether the president or a senator on account of a state will sign the thing. The contemplation is that there must be a snappier approach to make a lawfully restricting binding policy that expends fewer assets. Subsequently, a portion of the cases that are brought under the steady gaze of liberal judges. Activities by President Trump to ban purported sanctuary cities irritate liberals as they see a potential gold mine of future Democratic voters being debilitated. Since there is no expectation of motivating Congress to pass enactment to make the moves, such urban areas are making legislation, getting judges to block federal law enforcement and different activities are the strategy for decision. Henceforth we ought not to be astonished to discover that a federal judge intends to arrange the federal government to discharge $1.6 million in financing that has been withheld from sanctuary city Philadelphia since it declines to follow federal immigration laws. U.S. District Judge Michael Bailson is presiding over the DOJ's ongoing dispute with Philadelphia over whether Sessions can withhold funds from cities that ignore federal immigration law. DOJ attorneys presented a letter purporting to show that Philadelphia was not meeting requirements for a federal law enforcement grant, and Bailson's response made it very clear where he stood on the case, the Philadelphia Inquirer reported. "Your letter is wrong," said Bailson said in court. "You don't pay attention to what's going on in Philadelphia." The DOJ will be forced to pay $1.6 million if Bailson rules in favor of Philadelphia, and the ruling could have wide implications for other sanctuary cities seeking the same federal grant. Hardly anything's drawn into consideration of a liberal more than a potential cut in federal financing. Subsequently, nobody ought to be astounded by the responses of liberals running cities, for example, Philadelphia, to cuts in subsidizing for their refusal to coordinate in the enforcement of federal laws. Consistent with their leftist policies and philosophies, rather than getting on the correct side of the law so as to get the government grants re-established, they have gone to court so they can make the most of their appropriations while they flaunt the federal law. That judges empower this conduct indicates how undermined the legal has progressed toward becoming. Sessions wants to make the federal funds contingent on cities sharing immigration status data with Immigration and Customs Enforcement (ICE) officials, not barring ICE officials access to police stations, and giving ICE officials 48 hours notice before releasing illegal immigrants from detainment. That DOJ letter shows that Philadelphia limits access to illegal immigrant detainees for ICE agents. None of these necessities are absurd or shocking. That is, unless you have a motivation that you accept is more vital and that supersedes these principles. Furthermore, this is decisively what the left has. Liberals want illegal aliens in their sanctuary cities so they can be indulged with welfare benefits in expectation of the day when they can be given voting rights. As it were, this is tied in with making liberal voters, and the expatriates are basically apparatuses used to fulfill that reason. Yet, at that point, utilizing individuals and tragedies to propel leftist causes is just the same old thing new. Obviously, the American left has no disgrace. What do you think about this? Do not hesitate and write your thoughts in the comment section below. HT The Daily Caller. Like us on Facebook. Together we will make America great again.